Chapter 75, Like a Flower, Blooming Quietly. When Su Cheng saw 4 skeletons coming closer to him, he almost wasn't sure whether he was dreaming or not, but the pain in his abdominal area confirmed that this was real. Hearing the voice, he knew it was Lin Lei. He closed his eyes so he didn't have to see the ridiculous scene. He just wanted to know right now what was going on with his eyes. Maybe only those dead research scientists from that lab could explain that this is actually a potential ability that was unlocked. Earlier, his eyes already had the ability to accurately capture details of images, but this full-on fight worked his brain and eyes to the limit as he tried to lock onto over 100 dudes, causing his eyes to actually mutate. Actually, it should be said that they sublimated. From the initial stage of quickly capturing details to the penetrating vision on objects, in other words, he could now see through all objects, including metal and flesh. "Water, I'm thirsty," Su Cheng said weakly. After Lin Lei handed the water to Su Cheng, he didn't drink immediately but actually poured it onto his hand as he carefully rubbed his eyes. After his eyes got hydrated, he felt much more comfortable. Once he opened his eyes again, he saw the whole Lin family looking at him caringly. "Mom, Dad, you guys are here too," he greeted the Lin Gairan couple. Lin Gairan sat by his bed, patted his shoulder, and said gratifiedly, "Good job, you didn't embarrass your dad. I didn't expect you to join the military after you came back to the country." "My dad's a soldier, I need to be like him," Su Cheng replied. Lin Gairan seemed to want to say something, but he swallowed the words. After saying something to his wife, Mommy Lin brought Lin Chuxiu and Lin Lei out of the room. Su Cheng was quite curious as to what Lin Gairan was going to say to him. Lin Gairan sighed. "Before your dad died, he told me to raise you up and get you to live a safe and happy life. Cheng, do you know why I had my daughter marry you? I don't mean anything else. You know as well, Chuxiu's very pretty and has a lot of suitors with lots of power and influence, so whoever ends up with Lin Chuxiu will receive a lot of pressure from the others that courted Chuxiu. Firstly, I hope that you marrying my beautiful and brilliant daughter could inspire yourself to work harder, so that you could take good care of her, and give her happiness and a sense of security. Secondly, I also don't want Brother Su's family line to end with you, knowing that you wouldn't be interested in marriage at all ever since your father passed away. I really hoped that you and Lin Chuxiu could live a stable and happy life, but I didn't expect that you would join the military, nor expect to hear about you being in a death match with someone." Su Cheng bitterly smiled. "Dad, I also tried to convince myself. Frankly, I wanted to just live my life ordinarily too and escape all the pain, but whenever I thought of my dad, I will be reminded of the mother that I never met. I just wanted to find an answer, or, just tell her, that my dad died, and ask if she could go to his grave and see him. She doesn't know how much my dad misses her. However, that was just a part of the reason. To be honest, the biggest motivation for what I did came from Chuxiu." Lin Gairan was shocked, and he looked over at Su Cheng with an inquiring look. Su Cheng faintly smiled. "When you married your daughter to me, I was really happy, really very happy. However, I declined because I wasn't powerful enough. Before my dad passed away, he told me, to see how powerful a man is, just look at the woman that's with him. I remember it clearly until now, and if I'm not powerful enough, how could I deserve Chuxiu? I know, not just in Great Britain, her charm was ranked high up there and all over Europe, and so many powerful or wealthy families came to visit you, proposing to be your in-laws. If I'm not powerful enough, then I would be walking the same steps as my dad. So, I came back to the country and joined the military to completely change myself. No matter how difficult it is, no matter if it's for finding the mom that abandoned us or for Chuxiu, I know I had to become more powerful if I want my life to go on." Lin Gairan nodded and smiled. "Su Cheng, I won't stop you from looking for your mom, but have you thought about whether you can get out safely once you entangle yourself with the affairs of the older generation? The grudges between your father and the Ye family already ended when your dad died. I'm very glad that you are working hard to change into a new man, but it does come with dangers. Can you guarantee that you won't get Chuxiu involved as well?" Su Cheng became hesitant. Lin Gairan sighed. "Ever since you went back to Huaxia and joined the military for a change, I knew you couldn't let go of the grudge between your dad and the Ye family. I won't stop you if you want to get involved, but I do have to take my daughter into consideration. This time, we are here to get you guys to divorce and to take her back to England." Su Cheng's gaze lowered to his quilt and he didn't know what to say. He had been in a cold war with Lin Chuxiu for a few years now. At first, Her parents forced the marriage, but they couldn't make any progress, so there was nothing wrong with getting a divorce. However, for some reason, Su Cheng just wasn't happy. Perhaps it was because when he was working hard and struggling, the thought of his name together with Chug's on the marriage certificate would warm his heart and give him motivation. Although they were thousands of miles away, whenever he was having a difficult time, the thought of being able to become a man worthy Lin Chug's would give him so much hope and motivation. This was also why the instructor at the 5th Military Region said he was a soldier that could create miracles. Su Cheng obviously wouldn't tell Lin Chug's all of this, and when he failed to join the Dragon Division, he went to the bar and got drunk. That feeling of all of your hard work going down the drain was distasteful, and it also deprived him of the courage to face Lin Chug's. What does Chug's say? What's her thought on this? Su Cheng looked up and asked Lin Gairan. She said she needs time to think about it, Lin Gairan replied. Su Cheng bitterly smiled. Perhaps she thought it would be a huge blow for me to get a divorce while I'm still hospitalized. Dad, if Chug's wants the divorce, then I can sign anytime. Outside, Lin Lei leaned against the wall and said to Lin Chug's on a bench, I don't care who you marry in the future, but the dude in the room is the only brother-in-law I will recognize. Maybe you don't know how hard he worked behind you back, but I know. Putting aside background and social status, my brother-in-law is always the best in everything. From grade 1 to university, everyone had the impression that he was rebellious, that he was someone that always gets penalized by the school. He was always openly criticized in announcements. Many people say he was a bastard child without parents, including people being racists and calling him a yellow-skinned monkey. Even the teachers say that he had some psychological problems caused by having a severe inferiority complex. But you know what? Because you were too brilliant, he was always cleaning after you. Many guys were preying on you, and my brother-in-law always got in fights with them after school, and that was why he always came back with blood on the corner of his mouth. Also, he was expelled from university, and he didn't want you to find out why. It was all because of the Britain Empire's second prince's third son that wanted to have you, and he laced your drink one night. Brother-in-law found out and he disabled the guy. That's why you didn't even see that second prince's son after that incident. In the past, I was the one that shared a room with him, and I always asked if it was worth it for him to do those things. Lin Chug's eyes were already red with tears welling up inside. What did he say? Lin Lei, he said that he wants you to just keep on living happily and innocently with no black spots. Since the moment he saw you when he was adopted into the family, he thought you were a beautiful flower that was just blooming silently, and he wouldn't allow anyone to tarnish you.